Tell you a little bit about myself and the class. This is first period street law, and this is one of my 2 street law classes. So just to kind of tell you a little bit about myself, my name is Adam Nance. I actually grew up around here. I lived in Colorado almost my whole life. I went up to CSU for my undergraduate degree. I was a history major and a political science minor. When I finished my undergraduate degree, I came back down here for my master's degree. I got my master's degree over at Regis University. This is my 15th year teaching, but my 4th year at Creek. I was over at Eagle Crest for years and years, and a few things kind of lined up, and I got back to Creek. So I did my student teaching here years and years ago. So I'd always kind of had it in the back of my mind that I'd end up back here, and I'm very fortunate to be back here. I really enjoyed my time at Eagle Crest, but I always kind of knew I'd end up back here. So it's really nice to be here. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I do have a wife who's a teacher over at Eagle Crest. I let her stay there. We have 2 little kids as well. We have a 3-year-old little girl and a 1-year-old boy, and they kind of keep us running around, but they are an absolute joy. So that's enough about me. What I'd like to do is tell you about the class itself. This is the 4th year I've been doing street law, and for years previous I was doing government class and AP government class. And I remember when they gave me street law here, I said, well, it'll be fine. I can kind of just transition some government things into this class. And I learned very quickly, I said, yeah, it's not going to work out. This is a different kind of animal, but it's sort of the basis is the same. So I'm really lucky to be doing street law because it's a lot of fun. My government classes were, to be perfectly honest, kind of just structured and a little dry. And street law is just fun because it's very applicable. So to kind of give you an idea, we have really 3 big units. We are pretty much in the middle of our first unit right now, which is just introduction to law. It's some real kind of basic things about judges and juries and the role of prosecution and defense and some real basic things for now. But we also lump in constitutional law to this too. So starting in about roughly a week and a half or so, we do constitutional law. So as we get into criminal law, we do 4th Amendment, 5th Amendment, 6th Amendment. So for our constitutional unit, we do 1st Amendment, 2nd Amendment, 9th, 10th, and even kind of lump on some 8th Amendment too. That's our first unit. Hi, and welcome.
Hi, sorry.
No problem. Our second unit is criminal law, so we do how the criminal justice process works, and we also do what's probably my favorite part about this class. We do a mock trial. The mock trial is a lot of fun, but there's a lot of moving parts to it. So there are, we have these gigantic packets that have evidence and witness statements, and we have a handful of lawyers, we have paralegals, we have people that take on the role as witnesses. I'm the judge, which is good and bad. Sometimes they get mad at the judge because their objections are overruled. But we have witnesses, paralegals, lawyers, we have a jury, and it kind of depends on a few factors because the plan is to do 2 mock trials. We do one for our criminal law unit and one for our civil law unit, and it's just the same thing, but a whole different way of looking at civil versus criminal. So that's kind of an overview of what the course looks like. But what I'd like to do with the few minutes we have, do you guys have any questions for me? I'd love to answer anything that you guys might have.
Sounds like a cool class.
It does.
It's a lot of fun. When they first handed it to me, I hadn't had a new class in, 8 years? They said, here, you're going to do this class. And when you're the new guy, you kind of say, yes, sir, sounds great, and thank you very much. So I was kind of learning it the first year I did it, and it's a lot of fun. And being an elective, we have kind of a lot of latitude to take things different ways that other classes can't. So I'm very fortunate. It's a lot of fun. I love this class. So with that said, a little teacher rule towards asking questions is you always leave a pause. So, any other questions? Yes?
What do you hope the kids leave with? Like when they're done with this class, what do you hope that the biggest thing is that they've gained from it?
I hope they all become lawyers is what I want. But I actually just ran into one of my students from last year, and she said, hi, Mr. Nance, and she's a senior now, and I asked her, what are you going to do next? She says, I'm going to go study law. I said, oh, I was just kidding. I was like, really? Are you actually going to go study law? She goes, yeah, that's the plan.
That's cool.
That's great. And I guess I'll tell you this about me real fast. My favorite class in high school was my history class, and it was my history teacher that made it so wonderful. So when I went to college, I just kind of took all these history classes because of him. And then I just sort of realized that, well, if I want to do this for the rest of my life, I guess I'm going to be a teacher. And I was joking and say, gosh, I wish it was my finance teacher that really impacted me. That would have been a lot more lucrative. But so I hope that they kind of take an understanding of our system, and hopefully I do make some lawyers out of it. That would be great for me. So far I know one. That's it. Anything else you guys would like to know about me or the class?
My son did share that you have to steal 1,000 or more worth of stuff to be charged with shoplifting.
Oh, good. I'm glad I remember that.
Last year
Excellent.
from
Yes, we were talking about one of our foundational premises of our laws is protection of property, and I use the example of shoplifting shows we protect property, and I had to say, well, things have changed about the past 8 or 9 months, in that some places around the country have decriminalized it. So as long as you don't steal $1,000 or more, they're not going to prosecute.
Wow.
What do you know? Shoplifting is running rampant in those areas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we kind of use that as an example, but yeah, I'm glad they remember that too.
He's talking about your class.
Oh, that's good. That's always good. So with that said, Creek is an enormous place. And this year they're giving you guys 7 minutes to get to your new class. So if you want, feel free. I'm going to let you go just a minute early here. I guess we're holding to this schedule, even though it's a little bit different than usual.
Yeah.
But feel free to head off to your next class. And thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it.
I didn't see you. I know. I said I might as well take after my kid.
Good evening, Cherry Creek High School. We'd like to welcome you